Okay. Hi, good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you are. My name is Maddie, and I am so excited to welcome you to our Brand Innovators livecast series, The Evolution of Retail and OmniChannel. We've got a really great event today with two fabulous speakers, so excited to kick things off. Just before we get started, I want to say thank you to our sponsors and speakers for joining us today, as well as our audience for joining us. We really appreciate it. And then just a reminder, there is a Q&A widget at the bottom of the screen, so make sure if you do have any questions, utilize that. There's also a chat for you to use to talk amongst yourselves. So go ahead and also utilize that as well. So that said, I'm happy to welcome Lisa Ruggieri, who's the Chief Marketing Officer at CleanCut, and our moderator, Brittany Billings, who's the Executive Vice President of Marketing and Strategic Markets at Shopkick. Welcome.
Thank you. Good morning and happy Tuesday. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever everyone is.
Where everyone is. Awesome. I'll leave it to you too. Thanks.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you so much, Brand Innovators, and thank you so much, Lisa, and everyone for joining us today. I already warned Lisa, but I feel like I have to warn all of you. If I randomly start asking questions in sing-song, in song form, it's because I was at Disney World last week with my daughter for the first time, and I cannot get It's a Small World out of my head. So apologies in advance if that happens. But as mentioned, I am Brittany Billings. I'm the EVP of Shopper Marketing for Shopkick. We are a leading shopping rewards app that connects brands and retailers with engaged consumers on and offline through a very fun and gamified experience. We'll drive high shopper engagement throughout the entire path to purchase, or as we like to say, from couch to cashier. But today I am thrilled to speak with Lisa, the CMO of CleanCult, who has literally generated a cult-like following due to their zero waste and natural cleaning essentials. And may I add, their cheeky advertising. I implore everyone to do yourself a favor. After this live cast, go to YouTube, watch CleanCult, All Hail the Carton. You will not be disappointed. So to kick us off, I would love for Lisa just to tell us a little bit about herself, her background, and her journey with CleanCult.
Sure. So first, hi, everyone. Brittany, thanks for having me on. I'm excited to be here today. So I am CMO of CleanCult. We are a zero waste cleaning products company. We are the only company in the world that could put soap in a carton. We have patents around that. So you'll see, if you Google us right now, you see our cartons show up. So we have refill cartons with liquid soap across 5 different categories: all-purpose cleaner, laundry detergent, dish and hand soap, as well as dishwasher tablets. So we cut the gamut of all products in cleaning for home. And really excited. My journey has been one that has taken me from tech to consumer goods. So I was kind of a digital native at heart, worked in everything from mobile payments and customer acquisition to marketplaces, beauty, and now cleaning products. So I was kind of a D2C native, built many brands and D2C businesses through growth strategies, and have also kind of built my branding chops with great companies like Coty and now CleanCult as well, and have built this kind of branded performance marketing strategy that's been helpful for a lot of companies and definitely helpful for CleanCult in this new omnichannel world that we kind of live in.
Absolutely. So since today's topic is omnichannel retail, and you became an omni-channel brand. Yeah. You first started out D2C, yes. Like many of our own partners, D2C, and they made the scary, daunting, costly leap into retail. You tell us about that journey from D2C, then Amazon, right? And now 7,000 retail locations. Give us the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yes. So the D2C world, everybody kind of knows that we've been all living in it for quite some time. It really involves a lot of branded performance, and social media marketing. That's kind of the key to those strategies for anybody in this business. And that's great for scaling growth. And you learn a lot about Google and Facebook and all of those marketing tools that exist in the digital world, and you apply them to your business as well as your brand marketing strategy. We saw this direct shift where there was so much demand for people who shop, let's say, multi-product on Amazon for Clean Cold products, that it kind of naturally transitioned us into the Amazon space. We can't deny that they're just, a really big e-commerce marketplace. And so they sell everything and anything. And people are shopping on that in the same way that they're shopping at their grocery store, their electronics store. So we needed to have a presence there. Because consumers were shopping there and asking us, literally sending us floods of email of, when are you going to sell this online on Amazon? We'd love to also see this product on Amazon. So the demand was there. And so that's what brought us to that space. And it was a natural
trend. At least that's a good proof point, right? That's a good proof point that your customers were actually asking for it and raising their hand.
Definitely. And it was a natural transition from a marketing perspective. We were doing a lot of search ads, keyword strategies, and it was very successful for us. Google Shopping was, and that's very much the same marketing strategy that exists on Amazon in their ecosystem. So sponsored product ads. And then from there, we transitioned into retail, which to me is the most exciting space of them all, because when we think about retail, we think about going into stores only. And the retail world has just exploded with digital marketplaces, all kind of eccentric partnerships. They've built their own ecosystems. Many people don't know, Target, Kroger, all have their own Google and their own Amazon world where you can, bid on keywords, create great digital strategies. So it's no longer the traditional place that we kind of think of with a physical presence only. No, there's like thousands of marketing tools at your disposal in these ecosystems that are digital. People are shopping differently. And I say this all the time, the Clean Cold customer wants Clean Cold everywhere, anywhere, all the time. So it's impossible for us to just be a D2C business. It's impossible for us to just be an Amazon business because our customer doesn't shop that way. There's a moment in time where they will shop on Amazon, and there will be another moment in time where they are doing click and collect, because right before work and picking up from soccer practice, they're going to pick up their groceries at Walmart or Hy-Vee, wherever they live. And then there's moments in time where they'll be on Instacart because they just can't go out. The kids are all in bed and they forgot that they have no breakfast for tomorrow morning and the laundry's not clean. They need another, and they're out of Clean Cold. So we really need to make ourselves available in the way that they shop. And that has been the catalyst to what led us to our OmniChannel strategy. It's really not us. It's the consumer telling us we want Clean Cold and we want it everywhere, anywhere, all the time.
I love that. I love listening to the consumer. That's really, it sounds so simple, but some brands have a lot of challenge with it.
Yeah.
So you had mentioned your experience and success in performance-based marketing. You just alluded to the retail media networks that are proliferating through the advertising world right now. If I think about probably one of the challenges, maybe, and I don't want to put words in your mouth by any means, but from a D2C brand going into retail, you do lose owning the customer at some points, right? And experience is king or queen when it comes to your brand. And so as a D2C, you own the data, you own the personalization experience. Let's start first with that question. As a D2C brand, how are you leveraging your customer data that you're capturing and owning through your own channels to create and enhance a great customer experience?
Yes. So there were two places actually for us. So our own internal data from our subscriber base, because we did have a D2C subscriber business. People do run out of their laundry pretty much every 30 days, or 60, depending how much they do. So we had a great subscriber business, and we still do hundreds of thousands of subscribers. And we communicate with them with surveys on a regular basis. And now we also had Facebook, which everyone used Facebook, let's say, as consumer insights research when you were in a D2C world and didn't want to engage like an Ipsos or bigger agency that would have a lot of expense to it. And nowadays, because of the shift in iOS, we no longer really rely on Facebook as much for acquisition, and we don't rely on it for consumer insights or maybe A/B testing, but at the maximum. And so I think all performance marketers are learning, including myself, in order to really stay close to the customer, you have to go back to the roots of doing consumer insights research, and not just quantitative, but qualitative. So, again, because we don't own that customer in store, Clean Cult makes it a priority to do qualitative research where we make, mock grocery store environments, and we listen to, we bring in, kind of their particular customer based on the demographics, and we listen to everything they have to say. We don't just give them surveys. We literally sit behind the glass and listen to all of the commentary about the packaging, the product, and the full experience. So yeah, going back to the old school way of consumer insights is really important. Otherwise, we just won't know what's going on in that retail environment.
Yeah. And so with that, do your retail partners also support in that as well? Is there any connectivity or data sharing? How do your retailers also help you gain visibility into the customer, or at least cohorts or segments of customers of theirs who are purchasing your product?
Yes. So the retailers have a great amount of first-party data. They do share with us, I would say, aggregated data, because obviously for privacy reasons, it can't be more than that. So we do get a great understanding from our partners about the customers, their customer and our customers. So we kind of consider our partners in that sense. And then we also share with them all the research that we find about the demand for their demographic and their customers. I mean, we actually bring in Walmart, Walgreens, Target, Hy-Vee customers, and we give them that feedback as well, especially when we see, really strong interest in a particular category, a particular a scent that they don't have on shelf. So that's how we kind of partner with one another on data.
Okay.
They're really
Great.
insightful. I would say trends, like we really get great insights on trends, particularly from retailers as well, where things are going next.
I think that's super helpful, right? That you said earlier that your customers are generally purchasing cross-category, right? So you get now greater insights into consumers and what their behaviors are outside of your natural cleaning essentials.
Yes. And there's a lot of synergies, and then there's a lot of surprises in that data about what else they bought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Does that potentially help inform product development for you?
100%. Yes. So for example, if there's a cohort like moms that also buy, our fragrance-free Clean Cult products, and then they buy, personal care or baby care products that are very similar. They're fragrance-free, they're for sensitive skin, and that is a big cohort of shopper at a particular retailer. It does drive kind of our pipe of product dev for sure.
Okay, excellent. So I know we can't not talk about coming out of COVID and a pandemic and how consumers have changed. And I'd say even before the pandemic, the rise of the conscious consumer was real and tangible. And I wouldn't say a trend anymore. I'd say it's almost getting to be de facto. Younger demographics are expecting more from the brands that they're spending their dollars with: sustainable, purpose-driven, eco-conscious. Your brand was based on sustainability. Founded on it. And we know retailers are potentially lagging a little bit behind in that trend. Of course, there is the US Plastics Pact, so trying to make advancements in that area. What sustainability challenges has Clean Cult faced within retail? And then how has it been progressing with retailers? How are they making progress?
Yeah. Sustainability challenges in retail have been we have a really unique packaging. We are the only company in the world that could put soap in a carton, period. So we sit on shelf with this sea of plastic that just literally surrounds us. So I think the consumer is not given many options and still kind of sees the sea of plastic on a regular basis. And that seems to be the dominant still to date. So we are, we stand out, we are unique, but sometimes a challenge can be when everyone else has these big plastic jugs of laundry detergent that are massive, and we have a really sleek carton with concentrated product that can do 64 loads for half the volume. It can be a challenge. It's just people are preconditioned to seeing huge laundry detergents and think that they need that to do 64 loads. So that's one challenge. Like, sustainability can be viewed as something that could be unaffordable, is difficult, and sitting on shelf can be a challenge to kind of get yourself out there and seen by the consumer. But on the flip side of that, retailers are flocking to us, to be totally honest, because we can fulfill their promise for the future. So we're unique in that way that putting us on shelf gives them the opportunity to show that they're serious about the pack that they made. They're moving forward with it, and they're searching for more options, not just concentrates and plastic, but real solutions that are easy for people to adopt. And that people don't have to feel like they have to make this major change in their lifestyle in order to be sustainable. They're going to bring the sustainability to the consumer. And that's really what they love about us the most.
That's great. Yeah. And how you mentioned, the sea of plastic, and you're different and it's concentrated. That's a little bit of an education process for some consumers. How are you doing that today? Where are you finding success with that?
We're finding success with that on pack. I think that's the most powerful messaging. So the carton itself, it's very easy for people to understand. They get it. They see the recyclability of it. And then being very direct on packaging about, the product having the ability to do 64 loads. You don't need the huge blue viscous kind of volume of petroleum anymore. And so we make it clear that this is better for them, better for their home, better for their families, and better for the environment. And that seems to kind of win people over. When they get this kind of visual and clarity on pack, it clicks right away, and kind of the units just move themselves. We don't have to do a lot of advertising, but we are kind of a fun brand, which is unique to cleaning. I think that is another kind of unique voice that we have, is that we want to kind of make cleaning fun and about self-care and about, bringing some joy to your life versus it being a chore. And so you referenced kind of our latest video, which is the Cult of Clean.
Honest, love it. Please, everyone, go watch it. You and your team did an amazing job.
Yes, it is really fun. I mean, we wanted to kind of bring our community to life, and that really is kind of an expression of our brand, an expression of us kind of as a team. We really have a great culture internally, and we want cleaning to be fun. We want to bring kind of some fun and joy to this category in a way that didn't exist before. It seems a bit serious to us, and we think it can be joyful. But yes, we do a lot of fun advertising, not for the sake of just doing it, but really to bring the brand to life to people, to help them understand that sustainability can be fun. It doesn't have to be a downer by any means.
Yeah. Exactly. It's the opposite, right? It's the opposite of downer. It's absolutely an upper for all of us and future generations.
Yeah.
So I think, I always think about my shopping experience on Amazon or when I'm shopping at home, right? You have the convenience of sitting on your couch. I'm searching, I always filter by Prime, then reviews, then price point, right? And you now get this kind of curated list. You mentioned at shelf, again, kudos to your branding team. If you're able to get that amazing message through in a very small package, how do you see, or do you see any opportunities for better incorporating that digital experience in the in-store world or at shelf?
Yeah, so I spend a lot of time walking around all kinds of supermarkets, mass stores, and Targets. And I've seen that people really do shop, look on shelf, and hold their phone at the same time. This is not a trend. Most of the time, people are searching for things, Googling things, looking for a coupon. It's very much a multi platform experience when you're shopping in store. And the stores have a lot of opportunities for you to scan and search and get coupons, et cetera. So it's very, I would say, three-dimensional in its experience. You're not just walking in aisle. So I do think there's a lot of opportunities in store for brands to have great banners, great experience, optimize their merchandising so that that mobile device can be activated and you can engage them with offers. You could share with them better information about your products. And consumers are interested, they're connected. They want to see those reviews. They want to see the validation and the credibility that goes along with your products, because there's a lot of choice out there. And so I think bringing that merchandising to life to make it both digital and physical and mobile, so that the consumer, at the tip of their fingers could get access to what they need to know, as well as offers, right? And all of the upside that can go with it. So, and then become a part of your community. You want them to be your advocate and your ambassador. You want them to share the picture that they took or their comment or that review with friends and family. So definitely do think that there's the biggest opportunity for retail is making it a multi-touch experience on shelf.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And you bring up a good point earlier too, from a merchandising perspective. If your product isn't there, no one can purchase it, right? So we are still faced with this pandemic hangover, inflation, war, surging gas prices, supply chain issues. Have I depressed everyone enough already? Okay, good. Right. But you as a brand in retail don't necessarily have control over that sometimes, and how your product is stocked correctly or even there at all. So how do you see, especially during these challenging times, how do you see the retailer supporting you as a brand, and what are your expectations?
Yeah, retailers are very supportive of us as a brand. They bring so many opportunities at the table to kind of bring us to the forefront. Again, with merchandising, with placement, with first-party data, with access to all of their digital ecosystems. They're connected to the consumer in a way that I think most people don't even realize on the back end. And then on the front end, do a great job of giving us multiple opportunities to convey the brand story and who we are in addition to the products. So yeah, I'm confident that the retailers now are, and in the future will continue to be super supportive, first in merchandising and giving products like Clean Cult products that are really people first, purpose driven, great access to the forefront of their stores, and really will serve to help us kind of create a roadmap, I think, with beacon type brands like Clean Cult to kind of bring the purpose and the vision and the packs that they make to the forefront of their stores as well. So I think there's a lot of opportunity there to work together.
Excellent. Well, it's a big differentiator for them to have you in their stores. So I think that's great. Have you, on the flip side, has your customer expectations changed, or have they run into issues? Or on the positive side, have you been able to support your community throughout these challenging times? And how are you supporting your customers?
Yeah, so the customer expectation has changed in the sense that it's much broader than I ever could have imagined. I think sustainability could have been aligned with maybe like, okay, you have vegan foods, sustainable products, natural products. It was a niche. Now, absolutely not. There's not really one type or one niche of person that buys Clean Cold products. We really are kind of a mass brand and have a universal customer, both men and women. So yeah, it's not just families. It's not just people who really want, great ingredients that are biodegradable only. It's the everyday shopper that now has really commanded, like, I want better products that are better for me, better for my family, better for my countertops, better for my floors. It's universal and mass. So yes, that has definitely changed. I probably started 2 years ago with a different perception of the demographics, and now the demographics are definitely mass audience. So yeah,
that's great. Well, and it helps that the products work too.
Yes.
So again, it's not just a marketing stick.
Exactly. And that's what people kind of write to us about, the incredible experience. And again, like we have people who send emails to us and to the retailers asking us to do more products. Everybody's waiting for the glass cleaner. And so we know that they really, once they use them, they really love them. They come back, and then we really get advocates. I saw it on my sister's shelf, or I used it at my brother's house. And then we get these great emails. Do you have a glass cleaner? Do you have a different scent? So really, really wonderful to see it's far and wide.
I love it. Well, that actually also lends into kind of my final question, so I can stop berating you with all of them right now. But, what does the next 5 years hold for Clean Cult? And of course, if you can give us any secrets into new products, like we'll be happy to hear it here first.
So the next 5 years is probably going to be world domination. No,
Naturally.
No, definitely large, wide expansion, nationwide, multi-retailer probably approach. I think that you will see Clean Cult products in every grocer, every mass store, nationwide, widely adopted by the average household across the country. So that would be first and foremost. I definitely envision more household products, more scents, more efficacious products as well. Like we really want to work on performance and having the best in class, even though we do have them now, but maybe a glass cleaner, multiple scents and categories, maybe, expanding into a new category if possible. So yeah, we're working on our core competency, which is home, retail expansion nationwide, so that again, everywhere, anywhere, all the time, on demand, click and collect, shipped, Amazon, anything you want, we're there. So that's a big operational task for us, and we're ready to accept that challenge. So we're focused on that kind of stuff.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Lisa, for your time today and everyone's time. Any final parting words?
For me?
Yes.
Well, go to cleancult.com or Amazon.
There you go.
Check us out. Yes, that's about it. Thank you for allowing us to kind of share a bit about Clean Cult and our marketing strategies and our brand. I really appreciate it. Really proud to be working here.
Well, you can tell, and thank you for your thoughtful responses and feedback today. So from the brand innovator side, do they have any questions from our audience?
Hi, ladies. I'm just jumping on here. I don't see any questions. Just want to remind everyone that there is the Q&A at the bottom. If anyone wants to ask anything, we do still have some time. So not to put any pressure on the two of you, but if there's anything else that we want to continue discussing, we do have that time. And then we'll maybe give a few minutes to see if anyone has anything as well.
That's okay. I already have another one. So Lisa, you had mentioned community a lot. How, it's not a new concept.
Yep.
A lot try to do it. Some don't do it well, and some do it very well. So what is the approach that Clean Cult has taken to community?
Our community is really bound by our purpose. So I think, and our products. So I think those two things are really what we focus on with our community, engaging with them in the activities that we do to reduce plastic waste in the office, outside the office, encouraging them to do so, creating opportunities for them to do so. And then of course, sharing emails, engaging them on what new scents they want, what new products they want. They really are almost an internal part of our marketing team and our company. We really speak to them on a regular basis, and we do things with them on a regular basis. So that's really kind of our strength of our community, is we are connected on the same purpose. We do things together for that purpose. And then for our products, we're always listening to them. We're always asking them questions and surveying them and getting their thoughts. That's the most valuable piece of our company, to be honest, is our customers.
Now, do you have a customer advisory board do you have specific consumers that you reach out to on a regular basis, or is it kind of just more of a blanket insights panel, if you will?
Yeah, it's our subscribers in our D2C business predominantly, but that to us is a large group, and we take cohorts here and there depending on the topic, and then our followers on Instagram predominantly. And now as we grow on TikTok, that feedback is so valuable to us. So that's really kind of the two places where we engage them. There's no kind of segment. We really kind of go for as many as possible when we're speaking to them. But yeah, I would say our subscriber base and our Instagram followers are our two most touched points.
Most touch points. And then you say growing in TikTok, which I think many of us are all saying that as well. How is your social team approaching each of the social platforms? Is it a one size fits all model, or is it a little bit different between IG and TikTok?
Yes, so definitely different. TikTok is more, there are clean talks. So clean talks are enormously popular on TikTok. So that user generated content showing people, how our products are used in the home and engaging with creators on TikTok that love to create clean talks with our products is really how that channel is growing. And then on Instagram, it's much more about our products, about our brands. The video, for example, is one that, kind of exploded on social for us. That was shared. I think we had just on one post of that alone, 2,000 to 3,000 likes in less than 10 minutes. It was incredible, the kind of engagement we got from Instagram. So the fun part, the voice and tone of the brand and who we are, that piece really resonates on Instagram as well as our products. And then I think on TikTok, it's about the usage. People want to see it, our products live and in action and in unreachable, unbelievable places. So totally different strategies.
Clean talk. I know we have a question, but just one follow-up one from social. Do you see two different, you mentioned your different kind of demographics that you were surprised about. Do you see those two audiences living differently in Instagram versus TikTok, for example?
No, they're in both and living, so using the platforms differently, but no, there is like absolutely not a younger audience on TikTok. There are a lot of TikTok representatives of all ages. So yeah, I don't see much of a difference. It's just kind of the content is a bit different, but same people.
Okay. All right, perfect. All right, let's see here. We have a question. Lisa, what are your biggest challenges with scaling new user growth? What are the fastest growing channels for your brand?
Fastest growing channels for our brands. I would say TikTok is one of the fastest growing channels for our brands, voice awareness and marketing in general. Again, the clean talks and all of the creators that are on that platform. So that's one. And I think, in store and retail, that penetration has led to a whole new audience for us together with the retailers. So that's another place that we're scaling and scaling quickly. So Walmart.com, for example, that's been a huge success for us. And then that Walmart audience, all the reviews that are kind of accelerating on that platform has really been a powerful acquisition channel for us. So retail partnerships, and then on the digital side, I would say TikTok is growing for us pretty steadily. Yeah.
Excellent. Two follow-ups to that. So one on the TikTok front, how are you actually measuring performance in terms of direct response via TikTok?
Yeah. So the number of creators that are independently creating content and just either tagging us or hashtagging us within the litany of hashtags that are in there. So yes, it's kind of independent of us. People are getting our products and they're creating content for us. So that's how we're kind of measuring success and the enormous amount of engagement that those creators get on our behalf. So that's an incredible organic growth that's just created by people using and buying our products. Again, because we try to be everywhere, anywhere, all the time, whenever they want us. So that accessibility makes it easy for them to buy it and create content with it. So we're not even like seeding it, it's them independently doing it. So that's one way that we're measuring
No
success.
pun intended, organically, naturally.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
And then you mentioned Walmart. Are you currently participating in their retail media network? Is that a investment channel for you?
Yes. So that's how we're measuring success there. So on Walmart.com, particularly investments in keyword strategies, sponsored product ads, and conversions and checkouts, all easily kind of digital performance measures of growth. Yeah.
Well, with the, we talk about surging prices, with the surging prices on Meta and Google and other, kind of the mega channels like that, the retail media networks and other type shopper platforms really are coming to the forefront and being an efficient, effective channel. Yeah.
I mean, look, that is getting them at the POS. So it's been a shift of budgets, I think, for everyone in this space that, top of funnel just needs to work itself out right now after the iOS changes. So people are going straight to the retailer and POS where the customer intent is there. It's in the search bar. And so that leads to conversions and checkouts. So the retailers are really getting their moment in time that I think they deserve, because those marketplaces are actually extra sophisticated at these moments. They've built great platforms and good ecosystems.
Great. All right. We have one more as well. Are there any kind of is there any kind of marketing you wanted to do, but haven't yet?
Marketing I wanted to do, but haven't yet. Yes. So integrated marketing, I really would love, now that COVID has seemed to pass, I say that hesitantly, but I would really love to get out there and get more integrated marketing experiences in big events where people can kind of touch, feel, and smell the product. We actually have incredible sense. We spend a lot of time customizing them so that they are extraordinary experiences and really kind of touch and feel the customer again, new customers again, and give them an opportunity to physically feel the product, even if they're not in store, but at an event, and help convey also that self-care, get that message out there that people don't have to see kind of cleaning their house as a chore, and that when you're done, it's almost like a spa experience for you. So that's what we're trying to create and trying to bring that to life in more physical activations than just digital activations.
Yeah. And do you see that? You mentioned sponsorship. So we actually just sponsored Boston Calling Music Festival. And to your point, it was so lovely to see people in person and just the openness and the willingness and the happiness of, being around human beings. So there's the partnership angle, but then there's also do you have any of your just own branded stores in mind, or any pop-up experiences that you're toying with at the moment?
No pop-up experiences and no Clean Cold stores, although that would be really cool for me personally. But I think we have so many awesome retail partners that I think we can probably and will probably bring these things to life with our retail partners.
Well, you can see it, Ulta within Target right now. They are creating kind of the store within the store, that I could see a beautiful marriage with your experience within the stores that way.
That's exactly what we hope to create in the future. Absolutely.
Very exciting. Yeah. Okay. Well, there isn't any other questions, because I can keep going if we need to.
Yeah, you're great. This has been awesome. Love the little bonus time. That was really, really an awesome conversation. And Lisa, I think it's so fascinating when you were talking about TikTok and, the clean talk. It's like its own little niche culture, and it's just like crazy how that's all blown up. So I myself love the cleaning TikToks. They're very satisfying. So
they are
interesting avenue for you guys. But well, thank you both so much. We really appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day. And, we hope to see you again on the virtual stage. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Thanks, Brittany.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so we are on to our next session. Help me welcome, please, Salani Goyal, who's the Assistant Vice President of Product at 1-800-Flowers, and her moderator, Todd Adest, who's the VP of Global Sales and client services at Ad Marketplace. I'll give it just a second to get our speakers on. Hi, welcome.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I am doing fantastic.
Awesome.
Right. Hello. Afternoon.
How's it going?
Great.
I'm so glad to hear it. Thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate the time. I am a huge fan of the brand, so I just want to start out by saying you have saved my marriage on multiple occasions, so thank you very much. I do actually appreciate it. So listen, let's get this started off in a fun way. 1-800-Flowers, what is your favorite flower?
My favorite flower has to be daisies, like a cliche answer of every girl.
Nice and simple. Again, I have to refer to my wife here, plumerias. When you go to Hawaii, if you smell plumeria, they are delicious. So yes, that is my answer for today. All right. So listen, you have been with the company for quite some time. I would love for you to take this opportunity to introduce yourself, walk through your role, what you do at the company. You've been there for quite some time. So certainly you've had your hand in a lot of different buckets. So definitely want to hear what you do on a daily basis and how that impacts the bottom line.
Sure. Well, thank you for having me, first of all. And hi, everyone, whoever is on the line. So I'm Saloni Goel. I've been with Flowers for more than actually 5 years. I go long back, association with Flowers since 2012. That's a fun fact. In between, I jumped to travel e-com and then boomerang back to Flowers in 2017. So ever since, I've been in product for over 14 years now. At my recent role as assistant VP, I lead the product strategy, innovation, development, and go-to-marketing strategies here at Flowers for the desktop and mobile digital experience. And I think one thing that, as you rightly said, that 1-800-Flowers has been instrumental in so many ways, in like relationships and boosting the relationships and saving the relationships. But yeah, I think the one thing that really sticks out for me is how the company is always kind of at the forefront of like new and emerging technologies, which kind of keeps my job very interesting. And then in terms of like bottom line, I think I think with everything that has happened in the last 3 years with pandemic and the world before and after that, I think it has taught so much to us in terms of product and marketing strategies that I think we are learning every day and kind of executing with new things. So yeah, it's been a fun ride at Flowers.
So over 10 years, you've been working there for quite some time. I heard product, I heard marketing, I heard go-to-market. So certainly I want to dig into a bunch of that. And when you talk about innovation, certainly that is super exciting. You know, especially as we're on brand innovators, that is really what we try to focus on. So from an innovation perspective, especially when it comes to product, can you walk us through the process by which 1-800-Flowers, you and your team really decide, you know, where you're going to hedge your bets, where you're really going to make a priority, where you're really going to do the damage and really serve your consumers, how you make those decisions?
Yeah, sure. I think for us, like product innovation always has started and starts with an idea. We have, we always kind of look at like a bunch of ideas, but then just kind of shortlist the ideas that we think are going to make a difference or move the needle on. There's a whole process of prioritization. Like, you know, when a product innovation comes, you always need to kind of put your bets at the right places. But yeah, in terms of process, I think prioritization is the most challenging part. But I think once we are past that stage, it goes in the queue for the product development. Before that, we do prototyping, brainstorming with like various team members. And then once it's out in the market, we have this mantra internally that we always kind of launch, measure, learn, and then iterate. So we've always been very nimble about it. Have always believed in that, you know, it needs to be A/B tested. We always need to have data, like, you know, nobody can kind of contest with the data. So that's been kind of a process internally. So that's the thing.
And when it comes to innovation, listen, I've been a part of the industry for a really long time. I used to have hair. And way back when, what I've come to know is that there are certain timelines. So with regards to, your products, your innovation, generally speaking, 3 months, 6 months, a year, how long, generally speaking, does it take for you and your team to get a product from start to finish, from, idea conception to actual activation for the general public?
Yeah, so I mean, as I said, right, so we believe in iterating a product idea also. So I mean, we follow the agile methodology here, where the development cycle is 2 weeks. But before kind of having a timeline, I mean, it really depends on what you're trying to put out there. But yeah, it goes through the 2 weeks of development cycle and then validation and rigorous testing. So it really depends on, like, what the idea is. But a 3 month, 6 month, that sounds very long, unless it's like a major rehaul or a facelift.
Sure.
But yeah, we like to go in chunks.
And then with regards, and last product question, I promise, but when it comes to the product development, how many of those ideas, how many of those concepts are actually coming directly from consumer feedback?
Oh, we watch consumer feedback very closely. So we go through like 3 prime holidays, like Christmas, Valentine's Day, Mother's Day. But then outside that, we have like everyday occasions to birthday and sympathy. So, I mean, as 1-800-Flowers, since it's a gifting company, there's like a lot of emotions attached when you're placing an order. Like, when the customers are kind of satisfied, they leave us like good feedback, like, what they want to see in the site. But when they're not so happy, they do leave us like what did not make them happy. So I think there's a continuous cycle of like receiving the feedback and putting the enhancements out. And I think we measure ourselves through customer feedback score as well, through customer service. I mean, there are like various channels through customer reach out to us, like on apps, through App Store, chats. So I mean, yeah, we kind of collect the feedback overall.
That is fantastic to hear. And it doesn't surprise me because I have seen firsthand the evolution of your platform, which has been absolutely fantastic. So, you mentioned in the beginning of the call, the pandemic, and you mentioned, having to really change based on what has happened with current events. So I don't think it's any secret. 1-800-Flowers exploded. I mean, incredible growth during the pandemic. We know that, as you said, when you say that, a gifting purchase is tied to emotion, I think it's safe to assume that people were very quickly reminded of what's really important to them in life. And that's their loved ones, their friends, their families, their significant others. And so, as you look back over the last few years, what do you think is a change that was pretty unexpected, something that really surprised you and your team about with regards to the pandemic or even earlier?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the one of the most unexpected and rather, I mean, not surprising as much, but I think the greatest shift that we saw as soon as the onset of pandemic was the shift in consumer behavior to online shopping, like how fast everybody kind of adapted to the new ways of reaching out to the companies. And I mean, they're not wrong. Like, to be honest, like we all expected whichever way, like however way we would reach out, like whether it be desktop, mobile, chat, phone, Facebook chat, social media, like they would expect the best in class experience. And I think at 1-800-Flowers, we recognize that change, and we continue to optimize the experience, like, I mean, provided them like the best in class, frictionless experience as much as we can. I mean, we've been continuing to do that ever since, So, and I think that was also, I think, primarily the transformation of multi-channel to omni-channel for us. We recognize that how a customer data, or like one customer can come to you through various touch points, So it was very important for us to acknowledge that, to support that, and be committed towards providing the best experience.
I absolutely love your answer. And we're going to talk about omni-channel, which is the theme of this panel, in a few moments. That's great. And so far, I love every answer that you've given me. So, here's my question. Listen, Chris McCann, your CEO, very outspoken, wonderful leader for the organization. Obviously one of the founders. He always talks about, or he has recently spoken about, going after those consumers that aren't just a one-time shopper. They're not just, getting flowers for someone's birthday or a graduation or whatever the case may be. You guys are really prioritizing that long-term growth, that loyalty to what you do. And I know that you guys have that celebrations passport as part of your programs. So, talk to me about when we talk about that omni-channel environment, how are you bridging the gap between that online and that offline world? How are you really connecting the two to make sure that you're not just addressing consumers in those three big holidays that you mentioned, right? Mother's Day, Valentine's Day, and Christmas. How are you getting these users back habitually? How are you keeping them within your platform? What are you doing to connect the dots between where they are physically versus where you are online?
Yep. No, that's a great question. And I think just going back to the loyalty program. So, we have seen a great success with this program that we call Celebrations Passport. I think one thing that has kept our users sticky to that program is that, you get like 1 year of free shipping, no service charge. And then additionally, you get like 1 point per dollar spent. So, I think users are, I think that gamifying that whole concept that, you can earn dollars and then redeem to our family of brands. We have 17 brands, but you can redeem like on Harry and David, Cheryl's, like personalization mall. I think that whole concept of retention is very important. Like as Chris said, right? We focus heavily on like acquiring the customers, but I think it's more important to kind of retain them, give them a reason to keep coming back. We have seen that with the 3 prime holidays, we get so many repeated customers, but out of those user base, they also come to our everyday occasions, which is like birthday and sympathy. And then keeping the online, like bridging the gap between the online channels and offline channels. I think it's very important to kind of have that mindset of go-to-marketing strategy. Your marketing campaigns, for example, needs to be synchronized both for like every channel, online, offline. You cannot be out of sync where I'm promoting, like one channel is promoting something else, and another channel is going out and promoting like on occasion 2 weeks after. So I think one thing that has been kind of very embedded into our culture here is to just do a very tight collaboration, have one voice for the brand, and then just kind of keep executing things accordingly.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. And I got to say, if you want to keep people loyal, keep serving that Oreo cookie popcorn at the popcorn factory. And you got me. Yes, that is the goods right there. So, when you talk about, obviously you're in the product world and we discussed innovation, you have a lot of competition and that competition continually increases. So the question is, are you doing anything right now to help differentiate you from the rest of the pack? Is there, certainly the Celebrations Passport helps, the different brands that you have under one umbrella certainly helps. Is there anything else that really separates you, that differentiates you from, the rest of the field?
Yeah, I think one thing that we also kind of follow suit on here is that we understand that innovation is the future. Innovation is in the DNA of this company, and as I said, that is one thing that I've been in love, like ever since I joined. We're always kind of looking out for the new and emerging stuff, and then it's kind of important to kind of balance out on your everyday versus like everyday product, product development or strategies, but also kind of keep an eye on the innovation that kind of makes us stand out among our competition. So, there are a lot of things that we A/B test on daily basis. But yeah, something that we keep continuing to do that at this point.
All right. I love it. So listen, I threw you a lot of softball questions. I've taken it very easy on you. So now we're going to take it a little bit, we're going to go a little deeper here. And, you had mentioned consumers. And it's great to hear that you're listening to the consumer's voice on multiple platforms. You're really taking what they say into consideration, both on the positive and the not so positive feedback, and that you're adjusting course as a result. That's fantastic. And I'd expect nothing less. When it comes to what you're doing from the consumer journey perspective, you had mentioned that, maybe it was a little surprising, how quickly people adapted to shopping online. Are there other things that may have surprised you throughout everything that's been going on with regards to how consumers are shopping? Whether it's their consideration set, whether it's the data that they're willing to provide, is there anything that sticks out as just, wow, I would never in a million years have guessed that this is where consumers would have gone?
Yeah, I think, so there is one, and which I'm pretty sure it's not a surprise. We all knew it was coming, but we never expected it to come that fast, is the mobile adoption that we have seen in recent years. I think the percentage of users kind of shopping on mobile has grown exponentially. And I'm pretty sure it's not just for us, it's kind of across the vertical. And then also like how the users are playing favorites now, like we all have like our favorite sites, like we kind of all get excited when they release something that is convenience to you. I still remember Apple Pay, like 3 years or 5 years back in time, like when the Apple Pay came up, this express payment was such a new idea, and now like fast forwarding it to today, I cannot imagine a world without Apple Pay, or I cannot imagine myself going to the store and not having Apple Pay in my wallet. So I think just how quickly users are adapting, and also like as a company, as an e-commerce company, like we understand that if we don't iterate, innovate faster or exceed their expectations, we might, fall out of their favorites list. And it's just hard to bring back a user and have them like you again. So I think that's been kind of being consistent for like one or 2 years that we are seeing has been a trend now. So mobile has made us think in a lot of ways as mobile first strategies, like both channel and on-site experience.
Yeah, that's so interesting because in my own experience, I see that actually in real life. I used to order my flowers via a website because that was easier. And the amount of data that required me to start typing stuff in has now been really expedited by that quick checkout, by that, express service. So yeah, you nailed it. I mean, that is absolutely fantastic. So, as you start developing these products and you're working cross-functionally across different departments, and especially with marketing, which is what we're going to focus on, what do you think as a company you've really shifted towards? What has become a permanent fixture of your go-to-market strategy when it comes to addressing consumers? So you mentioned that they've become mobile first. Does that mean that your marketing strategies have become mobile first? How exactly are you interacting with consumers and getting them interested, both from a loyalty perspective and from an acquisition perspective?
Yeah, so I think the one permanent fixture that we have learned is to always kind of keep A/B testing. So while our, we are targeting the user as their personas and stuff, but it's also kind of important to continuously A/B test. That A/B testing culture was limited to like on-site experience, but now we have expanded to the marketing channels as well. So like as simple as like an asset for a display channel that worked phenomenally last year may not work for the users this year, or like a subject line that gave email channel a boost in the open rate last year may not work, like may not be as much as this year, So I think in terms of like the changing of strategies has been kind of more around like experimental and kind of, continuously learning from our users, and then kind of going back and comparing and kind of shifting our ideologies accordingly has been a one big change among the product and marketing both.
Got it. So, it was interesting. I was listening to the last panel and, they were talking about what media channels are really working well for them today. So I'm going to ask you the same question. What is really working? What's really providing performance, conversions, sales for 1-800-Flowers today?
Yeah. So for us, both paid and organic have been, equally balanced out. But I think for us, we personally feel that, if you improve the organic channels, and if they improve, that elevates a brand presence as well. So like that means that 1-800-Flowers is kind of getting out there more. And then last year we heavily focused on like the paid speed performance that helped all the channels, but it helped organic the most. And then the one thing that as a company that we try to kind of follow is the EAT methodology, which is basically the Google search quality algorithm, like, kind of the thing. So I would say that it's for us, it's organic, which has kind of which I've shown the most in the last 2 years or so.
Yeah, that's great. So yeah, I love it. And on the last panel, they had discussed some of the social platforms and the metrics for success around some of those social platforms. It was just interesting to hear their take on it, which was, hey, if influencers are shooting videos and if they're creating content, that's a metric for success. And then in the same breath, shifted that conversation to, and we actually want to have a return on ad spend. We actually want to have a return on investment. And so, there are certainly some performance-driven media tactics that we take in order to measure the efficacy of the marketing that we take. So, in that vein, you mentioned Google, you mentioned search. How important is search in what it is that 1-800-Flowers does?
Yeah, so search is, it's like the bread and butter for everyone. But search is very, very important. I think our team does great job in kind of optimizing the keywords. And paid team and organic team, they both work very closely hand in hand with each other. There's obviously like a lot of competition that we have to cater to. So I think, obviously there has to be return of investment that needs to be looked at. And then, there's obviously a lot of optimizations that are happening from campaign front, from on-site experience front, like, how once the top of the funnel customer is acquired, like how are we kind of pushing them down the funnel to get that conversion out? So it is kind of like the whole equation that needs to be kind of looked at and balanced out and optimized. So for us, yes, paid search is a very, very important channel.
Well, yeah, I got to be honest with you. That was a planted question because, we sit in the search space. So that was my plug just to make sure that you guys felt search was important. So, listen, that's really great. And so I totally understand and I get it. And especially in a direct to consumer in kind of an immediate, response back. I've got a birthday coming up in a day, Mother's Day is coming up, I want to order in advance, those types of projects. Certainly people are searching for goods, products, services tied to what they're looking for. So, that makes total sense. Now having a better understanding of how 1-800-Flowers develops your products, messages to consumers, certainly I want to talk about attribution. So, we talk about that analysis of ROI and understanding, that return on ad spend. So, you talk about search being a huge component to what you do. When you look at your paid media, what are you actually using to determine whether or not media is valuable in your eyes? And what is valuable in your eyes? What's that definition of valuable media?
Yeah, so for us, it has to be like a quality top of the funnel session. So I think that one is one of the most important key. But then, in terms of attribution, like obviously top of the funnel, bottom funnel, last click. I think each one has its own importance. Like last click is where I think most of the bet is. But it also actually depends on what kind of business you're in and what you're trying to really optimize. But yeah, if you're asking me about the media, it's all about like getting that, top of the funnel sessions and how good or bad quality they are. All
right, I love it. So upper funnel, middle of the funnel, bottom of the funnel, getting that conversion is important. You talked about last click, kind of getting a lot of the credit for a lot of the media conversions. So when it comes to, identifying that, everybody has a place in advertising, and certainly 1-800-Flowers spreads the wealth in your marketing mix. When it comes to kind of fractional attribution, what's your opinion? Who gets the most credit? How do you weight that credit? Is it a social media post? Is it that last click on a search bar? Is it somewhere else? Is it in one of those shopping apps that we talked about before? How are you assessing, who's driving the most revenue for you?
Yeah, so as I said, each one has its own importance, but I think I truly believe in last click. Like, you can bring all the top of the funnel, but if it's not converting at the end, it's not kind of making to the finish line. So for me, it's how well the last click or how effective the last click happens at that in the funnel.
Saloni, you're my hero, and the check is in the mail. That's the answer that I wanted to hear. No, I'm just kidding. So no, that's all great. And certainly, when you talk about that last click, there have to be some additional indicators, right? Some additional key performance indicators that you use to determine the success of your campaigns, right? And I imagine that there are platforms that are driving more loyal consumers. So, as marketers start talking about, issues like lifetime value or customer acquisition value and all of those good things, how do you, or do you assess the value of certain channels in bringing more loyal consumers than other channels?
Yes, we obviously, yes. The short answer is yes. There are channels that are going out and just getting the new customers, but there are also like channels like email and affiliate more or so. Yes, like there are a lot of return customers. There's a lot of loyalty that we see coming through those channels. Like as I said, like when you see a growth in your organic channels, which is direct and SEO, like that you have done good in the paid channels, which is why now your brand presence is so strong that they're coming back through direct and organic. So yes, we do assess what is the user LTV or like user type from each channel, and then how can we go about and optimizing them further.
I love it. So you are assessing channels and partners based on who they're bringing in. Are they bringing in loyal consumers? Are they bringing in new consumers? And then you're weighting that based on, who exactly they're bringing in. I love it. It's really brilliant marketing. So, when you talk about metrics and you talk about statistics, you've made your position very clear. Last click, last click, last click, which is music to my ears. Ultimately, my question for you is, and it kind of leads the witness here, but when it comes to your CFO, when it comes to your CMO, what are the metrics? What is the number one number that they're looking for when you, from the product side, working with the marketing team, that you're really trying to project to them? What is that number that they're looking to see?
Yeah, for us, I think the holy grail has always been an e-commerce conversion rate. So the number of transactions per the session. So, we look at a lot of things, but I think if one thing I have to tell you that is most important for both product and marketing team, and I think where we kind of meet on the bridge is the conversion rate.
I love it. So, and then when, Chris starts talking about the future of gifting, and you as a product leader charged with innovation, start thinking about where this industry is headed. Where, in your opinion, does this go? You look at movies like Her, where they have handwritten notes developed for people so that they don't have to write them themselves. Where does gifting go in the future, in your opinion?
Yeah, so I think the way consumers are kind of trying to find the relationships, trying to connect with them, kind of are expressing what you're saying about the handwritten notes. I think people are more expressive and want to connect more than ever now, and which is what brings us to the basics, that they would not leave that. Like they would continue to kind of find a place where they can connect with each other more, express. And I think as a company, we want to take that opportunity to kind of provide them that platform, or that one single gifting destination as a future that you can, think of any occasion and then you would just think of flowers. So I think 1-800-Flowers as a company, like family of brands. So I think that's where I think for us the future of gifting is. We definitely want users to kind of embrace the connection that they have with their loved ones, with their significant others, and kind of see us as one of the companies to come back to.
I love it. So the connection from consumer and the emotion involved in what you folks do, taking that over to the product side, taking that over to marketing and going full circle back to the consumer. What do you think as a product leader is an ideal setup between product and marketing to consumer? How does that interaction take place? Because oftentimes, that could be a pretty tumultuous relationship depending on the organization that you're a part of. Sounds pretty seamless at 1-800-Flowers. So how does that work and why is it working so well?
Yeah, so I think number one thing is that we all have a common goal here. We all want to kind of give the best experience. And I think from what we have learned over the last 2-3 years is as I said, being a gifting company, we know there's a lot of emotions, there's a lot of anxiety. Like even when you place an order, right? Like the post-transaction, like the whirlpool of emotions you have, when am I going to receive a text from the loved one that I sent flowers to? When is that happening? I think we have been very empathetic about the post-transaction kind of cycle too. And which is what I think the product team and the marketing team, they all understand that there is an emotion aspect for both recipient and sender that we have to cater to. So yeah, there's a lot of collaboration. I think there's a lot of communication. We do understand that what needs to be done to enhance the experience overall. If we are learning anything new in product, there's always going back to the marketing team and having them execute certain strategies or campaigns that we can learn from, and vice versa. So I think it's open communication and collaboration is the key for us.
I love it. So you've been with the company for 10 years. It doesn't sound like you're going anywhere anytime soon, which is great. If you could, take your paintbrush and stroke a pleasant future, an ideal future, what does that future look like for 1-800-Flowers? What does that future look like? We talked about gifting, but what does that look like for 1-800-Flowers?
As I said, I want to see 1-800-Flowers, I just want to see all our family of brands, which is Harry and David. And a lot of people, may not be aware of, but yeah, I think for me, we just want to bring all the brands together in a way on the side that it is the one gifting destination. We have more loyal customers. As you said, the OmniChannel is so critical, is so crucial that we optimize the heck out of every channel for our users. If you find as a user a new channel, we want to be there. I think that's the future for us. The innovation should never stop. The ways to reach out to us should always be optimized.
I love it. And, we've been talking about the consumer experience and you mentioned one of my favorite words in marketing, gamifying. So, I know that, within the Celebrations Passport, you can earn points and get rewards and all of that good stuff. Walk me through what else gamifying is to 1-800-Flowers and what your thoughts are around, creating loyalty through fun.
Yeah. So I think that for now, the Passport is one of our best loyalty program offering out there. And then as I said, right, it does offer the 1 year of free shipping and no service charge, which I think for our users, it's a huge incentive to come back with the inflation that we all have been seeing, So I think in terms of, more than gamifying, I think it's the stickiness that the user feels on the site, that they have everything that they can find, and with the ease of coming back and finding what they are looking for. So, we are looking at the ways we can keep enhancing that kind of gamifying concept. But yeah, Passport is definitely one of the key drivers of the loyalty here, or the long-term retention here.
I love it. So it looks as if we have a question, and I want to read that question off. How important is it for you to use influencers to generate sales, and what platforms are the influencers on that are most effective to drive sales?
Yeah, so I think we are all, I think we are all on that kind of the world now where we understand and look at influencers on social and like, be it Instagram or Facebook. So I think Instagram is where we look at the influencers to drive more sales, but I think organically also organic users, word of mouth is also kind of influencing influences for us. But yeah, in terms of platform, it has to be definitely social and display.
Gotcha. And I want to just preface again that the Q&A is open, that there is a chat at the bottom of the window should you have any additional questions. We do have about less than 5 minutes left. So I also want to say, when it comes to some of the smaller brands, chipping away at your market share, how are you really looking at the market, maintaining your market share, maintaining that position? You had mentioned all of the different, brands, logos that you have, the one market that you're looking to have within the site. What do you do with some of those niche guys? What do you do with some of those folks who are coming out with brands that are super unique? And how are you addressing some of those consumer needs in order to stay top of mind and keep those loyal folks loyal?
Yeah, so that's a great question. I think I definitely have my mind churning, but no, I think every new competition that we see, there's just so much to learn. I think there's a new concept every day that we are learning, and as I said, like the customer feedback is like our number one kind of the teaching game here. We know what our customers are looking for. We know who all our audience are, what they love about our site, what needs to be improved on our site. So I think we take our strengths, we don't. I mean, we keep optimizing and improving our strengths, so as to speak, and then we also kind of understand where we should be enhancing and where we can enhance. So I think that kind of makes us stand out. When it comes to competition, we're always. I mean, we've been very nimble about our experience. Never been satisfied and always iterating. Yeah.
Agree completely. And you guys have continued to innovate the products too. So what you're offering to consumers has been fantastic. So I absolutely love that. So when you start looking at, consumers and you start looking, you had mentioned personas, you had mentioned audiences quite a bit. So, obviously you've got those loyal audiences and you're hitting them on multiple channels, including email and follow-ups and all of that good stuff. Talk to me, if you can, about some of those personas. So, are they the last minute shoppers, like unfortunately myself, that try not to get in trouble by ordering things last minute? Are there other personas that 1-800-Flowers is really looking at as they develop products and as they market to the general public?
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely they're definitely last minute shoppers that we see. I mean, same day deliveries is one of the most in demand for the last minute shoppers. I mean, I think we have very impressive same day kind of visibility on the site, and how we can deliver before 2:00 on your recipient time zone. So the personas for our users range from like last minute shoppers to like loyal customers who kind of have who are very organized, who know, if their son's birthday is coming in 2 months, they know how to kind of remember that and place an order. But we also have users who come for an occasion for something else, but we remind them that you have a nephew's birthday coming up, for instance, and that whom you placed the order last year. So I think it really ranges, but yeah, I mean,
I feel as if Flowers is the best friend to every person because it keeps them empathetic. It keeps them really thinking about their loved ones and taking action to remind people that they are loved and cared for. So yes. I think you have this hero persona across the company, in my eyes, especially because, like I said, you have kept me married for quite a long time. So that being said, we've got about a minute left. I don't see any additional questions. So Madeline, I'm going to hand it back over to you.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Todd. Just wanted to say thank you to you both for joining us. It was a great conversation. Both sessions were amazing. So thank you both. And we look forward to seeing you guys again on our virtual stage soon.
Saloni, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Todd. It was great speaking to you. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Thank you both.
Bye.
All right, so that concludes our live cast today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, thanks to our sponsors and speakers. And we look forward to all of the upcoming events we have, both virtual and in person. So check out our website to stay in tune with what's going on. Thanks so much.